What's up everyone? Shane here with ROA Off-Road or RVs of America. Today I'm going to be going over the all new 2026 MDC 15. Now these are available for purchase, or I should say you can put in an order and you'll be seeing these landing sometime in the summer, hopefully. So if you are interested in this trailer, you definitely want to go check out the previous year model, the 2025. But this is going to be of the all new 2026 models that are coming. And there are a lot of changes. The 24s, you can go watch that video because the 24s to 25s, not a lot of differences. But this definitely has a lot of improvements, a lot of enhancements, a lot of stuff that they've done specifically for the US. Now, one of the things that I do love about this trailer is how easy it is to set up. We've had a lot of hybrids over the years, and there is not a hybrid that is easier to set up than this one. And just to prove it, we're gonna actually have one of the camera guys. He's used this trailer a bunch of times. There he is right here, Brandon. We're gonna have Brandon go totally blindfolded. So we're gonna let him set this trailer up blindfolded to show to you how easy it is to set up, and then I'll get into the walk around. Okay, let's go. Well, there you have it. The trailer is so easy to set up. You can do it with the blindfold on. That was pretty cool, right? We've had a lot of these hybrid types of trailers, and as far as all of them go, this is without a doubt the easiest one to set up. And it doesn't matter whether you're looking at this brand new 2026 model year or you're looking at the 2025 or older. Ever since they've gone to the electric roof lift, they've all been really easy to set up. And that's a lot because MDC, they take these trailers out, they use them. You know, MDC has sold more than 40,000 campers into the Australian market. And because of that experience, they have a lot of feedback and they just dial in everything on these trailers. But generally I'm walking on the outside. I'm gonna go inside since it's snowing a little bit and show you in here, and then we'll come back out, talk about some of the new features on this all new 2026 15. Welcome inside. As you can see, there is a lot of natural light in this trailer and also a lot of lights, period. You have all these can lights on the roof. You also have this canvas that you can open up and have some airflow. So if you're at the beach or in the mountains, you can have a ton of airflow coming along the top of the trailer. This back here also opens as well as that one. So just tons of airflow in this trailer. We have our windows down here all throughout. Now the windows are new in 2026, and I'll show you that on the exterior. Now, as far as what's new in 2025 versus 2026, there is probably 30 to 40 different things from 25 to 26. Some of them are little, some of them are big. So I'm gonna go over all those details, but I do wanna point out some of the big things in 2026. Mostly we got all new Truma appliances. So you do have the Truma Aventa air conditioner. This is one of the most efficient air conditioners that you can buy on the market right now. Also, you have the new Truma Vario heat, and it's all ducted. So the previous model was running a Dometic, and it was coming out at a single port, which they actually worked phenomenal. It was a great heater, heated up the whole trailer. The Vario heat just has some different features. It's also integrated into the air conditioner and the water heater. So it's kind of just a new convenient way of working all your components in one system. So let me show you this system really quick, because this is definitely new in the 2026 models. Everything is run by Renogy. The previous year model was using a BM Pro system, and this is the all new Renogy. This is a 1-core, and it controls all your batteries, your solar, your MPPT. Really cool system. I'll get into more of these details when we do that comparison or when I do the full tour of this unit. But this is essentially your command center, right? This is your water tanks. You have your switches to turn on, you know, your fridge, your water heater, whatever you're going to be running, your water pump. These right here are fuses. So if something is not working, your furnace say goes out, you just have a pop fuse and you just push that in and it re-engages it. Most trailers in America are using those stupid automotive fuses still, where you have to plug it in or get tweezers and pop them out and check the fuse and put a new one in there. So I love these breakers or these trip fuses where if something's not working, you just push the button and boom, you're back on the road. No issues. Now the Truma I mentioned, it has some new things integrated into it. So previously you had different panels that you had to turn on, but this is just kind of like a residential house now. You just click this guy and it's on heater because we're outside, it's snowing. But during the summer, you just flip this over to air conditioner and you turn it on right there. And one of the newest updates in the 2026 models is that you can now run the air conditioner completely off grid. You do have tank heaters right here as well for your cold weather package. Now, the 2025 model also had tank heaters, so that's not something that's specific to the all new 2026s. Now, a lot of it is design, right? So the cabinetries, they've changed the colors across the entire trailer. You have a white with this gray high gloss. Previously, we've had blacks and whites, combinations with all the MDC lineup. All the new units coming out in 2026 are going to have this gray. They've also gone to a lot of black switches, faucets, outlets, right? So you come over here, you have black outlets, you have black chargers. Previously, this was all white. And you might be like, whoop-de-doo. It's still really cool. It's cool that they've gone to the length to make sure all of the things are matching and those details are seen throughout the whole trailer. So you have this same thing with the latches, right? These are all black latches. Previously, they were a chrome silver latch. So I know this doesn't necessarily change why you would purchase a trailer per se, silver versus black. It's just kind of a matter of preference, but that is the thing that you're going to see. If you walk into one of these trailers and you see the coloring, you'll be like, oh, this is a 2026. If you see chrome and white, then you'll know it's a 2025. Now coming over here, the whole entire countertops have been changed out. Previously, they had a stone look material. This is all of Formica composite material. So they went from that stone look to a wood look. It's not real wood, but it looks really cool. Of course, we have our cutting board here and we have a sink. And this sink is a lot deeper than the previous year's model. Now, we do have an upgrade where we were adding a deeper sink and they're pretty similar in depth and everything. So really appreciate that they did this. And look, it's black. I love how the spigot is black. So they really have carried this theme throughout the entire trailer. Of course, we have our good old Thetford stove top. This is a 9,800 BTU output. These are over 6,000 each. So lots of power. These things cook really, really well. Of course, we have a little backsplash there so food doesn't splash up. And even if it does splash up here, this is a high gloss, so it's super easy to clean and maintain. Now, these windows, these are such cool windows across all the MDC lineup. You have these nighttime shades that close, and then you can unclip this and go down and have nothing. So it's just open. Or you can bring this down and then it's a screen to keep the bugs out. These windows have a few different settings, which I really think is quite unique compared to most trailers you're gonna see built in America. Most windows in America are glass, they're cheap, they're single pane, and they might slide or they might be on a little lever that you open up, but these things have different settings. So you can, that's one setting. You can go up and have another setting where it holds it in place, or you can go up and have it all the way open. And if you open up these windows, you're gonna have incredible airflow between here and there for cooking, hot days, or just those days where the weather's perfect and you want to bring that nice weather inside. And of course, if there's bugs, you can close it and keep the bugs out. Another cool setting that these windows have that's really unique is you can bring this down and there's a little track right here that you actually push this and lock it in. And so this is actually cracked open a little bit. That's not all the way shut. So some people make a mistake and they don't shut it all the way, which you don't want to do because in transit you could get dust inside. But the reason why you want to do that is that creates a little bit of airflow, will reduce condensation or moisture buildup inside the trailer, and just kind of keep some air, fresh air coming in. Trailers generally are sealed pretty tight, and if you're cooking in them, you can lose your oxygen. So it's good to have that little crack. Now in the US, most windows don't have that option, right? If you open it up a little bit and you leave, somebody can just go and open it all the way and come and break into your trailer. This, essentially, you can completely lock this window shut, but actually a little bit cracked open. Now to shut it all the way, you bring this past this slot and all the way in, and then now it's locked in. And these things are very, very sealed. I've never seen any dust coming through these Eurovision windows. And there's been a little bit of a change. I'll show you on the outside to those. So coming back over here, we do have a lagoon table, and this thing just has a lot of maneuverability. You can move this around. You can sit in different ways. Easily put 2 people in this booth. This thing does have a lot of motion. When you put it on the right spot, you can actually stow it all the way up against the wall here to get it out of the way in case, say, you're cooking and somebody else wants to walk by. That goes all the way out of the way. Of course, one of the things that I love is outlets, right? I know my camera guys like that more than even I do, because they're always trying to charge their gear, dump their footage at the end of the day if we've been out filming. And of course, we have outlets here. You have both the USB-A and USB-C. So you have the standard and the newest one. So if you have an iPhone, a brand new iPhone, you're not gonna have to get an adapter. Also, this is a cigarette lighter, or you could plug in different various components that run only off of that 12-volt system. Now look down here, we got a whole nother outlet. This is your standard residential outlet. So if you are working remote, you can get out here, put your computer on the table and be able to work remote. But you also have the same 12-volt plugs as well right there. This thing has a lot of outlets. Come over here, I want to show off some of the stuff over in the bed area. Now, really cool, we have a wireless charger, so we can drop our cell phone right here at night and just let it charge. But you also have these outlets, so you can be able to plug in other devices. The cigarette lighter, that's a pretty common one if you have a CPAP machine. A lot of times they have that adapter, so you'll also be able to use that. Now you'll say, oh, what if I want to sit here with a computer? Where do I plug it in? Well, you can plug it at the foot of the bed by the kitchen, or you have an additional outlet right over here by the television. And so you could use this outlet to plug in a laptop if you're working on the bed. Also, you could use this outlet to plug in maybe, say, a blender or a coffee pot up here, because this is a really big space. When you get to camp, you can use that. Here we have the TV for those cold or rainy days. Some people are always like, why do you have a TV when you're out camping? Well, maybe you're not just camping, maybe you're full-timing in this. Now, I will admit this is not a smart TV. It's not really a stupid TV either. It's got like HDMI connections, so you can plug in your laptop. As far as IQ goes, it's pretty average. Now, if you want a smart TV, we can take this out and we can mount to put another TV on here. That's one of the cool things about ROA is we do modifications for people. So if you come in and say, hey, you know what? In my opinion, it's not even average. It's just stupid. Give me a smart TV. We can get whatever you want. If you have a Genius TV out there, we can even throw that in for you. But this is a cool little setup. One of the benefits of this, it is 12 volt. So it runs directly off the batteries, and those are a little bit more efficient. But because we have an outlet right here, we can run off the inverter. So we can put any type of TV you want. So if you have a preference of television, we can do that for you. Now, let me point out some nice little extra cubbies for storage. So these come up out of the way, and you actually have some very deep cupboard space all the way down there, and you have that on both sides, and that actually goes in pretty deep. So whatever you want, maybe your underwear, your socks, there's a good amount of storage in this unit. And of course, all the cabinets are locking, so this doesn't come up, nor do the other doors fly open while you're driving down the road or off-road, whatever you're doing. These fans right here are incredible. These Sirocco fans, lots of adjustment. You know, you have up, down, all the way around, however you want to adjust this. You also have one over there on that side of the bed as well. so you can have your his and hers, and these just create a lot of airflow. It has a variable fan speed, so there's 3 different speeds, and then it also has a timer, so you can have it run for a few hours and automatically turn off if you're out and about and you want the airflow moving but not have it run forever. Of course, we have our reading lights right here, so when you are out camping and enjoying yourself, you can kind of come back and hang out in here. Now, I am 6 feet, so this is not like way tall, but obviously if you're gonna lounge back in here, it's comfortable. And then this little guy is gonna come down here and hit right at my book. It's a comfortable space. This is really nice. I've taken a hybrid just like this one out to Baja for almost 2 weeks, and we really were extremely comfortable in this. Of course, this goes up here and locks in when you're in transit or tow mode. Now, another thing that I love about these beds in the MDC, first of all, this is very large. It's very comfortable for a couple. That's gonna be a huge bonus for you. Also, it is very comfortable. My wife says I'm a bed snob, and I gladly take that title. Listen, like, you spend a good part of your life in the bed and also on your feet. So to me, good shoes and a good bed are very important for your health. I have one of these rings. Aura has not sponsored this video, but they should, because this thing is amazing. I love it. I track my sleep. And to me, the reason why I buy a camper is because I want to have a place to go to sleep, and I want to have a good sleep, because when I wake up, I want to go out and have fun and camp and hike and whatever, swim, fish, boat, bike, whatever you're gonna do. Like, that's why you buy a camper, is so you can have a comfortable bed as if you're at home. Another reason why you buy a camper, this is another huge reason why I buy a camper, and I think it's why the ladies want a camper. Let's head on over to the bathroom. Okay, so here we are at the bathroom. Once again, we have some little hooks for towels or various things that you might need. And look, they're black. I love that they do that. Same with the door handle. Those are details that they could have just overlooked, but they didn't. So now we come into the bathroom here. Now this bathroom is what you call a wet bath. A wet bath is where everything is combined into one area. A dry bath would be where your toilet and your sink are separate from your shower. Now my wife loves wet baths. I would say I'm neutral. I like them. I'm not like one way or the other. But the thing that I do like about wet baths is generally these showers are large. Sometimes when you go into a dry bath, it is nice to have the toilet and the sink away from the shower, but generally the showers get really tight and can be a little squishy. The nice thing about a wet bath is you have a massive shower area because it's essentially all integrated into one area. Also, you can keep the toilet nice and clean because you're showering in here, and my wife will spray off the toilet when she's showering and just always keep the space really clean. Now this does have an adjustable shower head, so if you're medium sized, you put it right there. If you're extremely short, don't want to offend anybody, but you put it right there. If you're really tall, you can put it right there. This moves around and adjusts so you can get it just perfectly set for yourself. Now, talking about tall, I'm 6 feet tall, and as you can see, I have a lot of headroom in here. You basketball players, this is your trailer, or just tall people. Maybe you don't play basketball, but you're just tall, okay? Tall people, you can come fit in here. I think we're just like over 6'8" in here, so lots of headspace. Also, look at all of the features down here. We got little holders for our soap, our bar soap. Oh, look, we got bar soap. This is really important. It's always really important to have bar soap when you're in your shower. And one of the most important things is if you're in the shower and you drop your bar soap like that, the question is, are you able to bend over and pick it up? That's how you know whether the shower is sufficiently large enough for you. Now look at this. I can bend over. I don't even hit my head when I bend over to pick up my bar soap. That's really important. We got little hooks here, so maybe you hang your swimsuits. Another cool thing over here, these are also great little spots to hang stuff. You can put towels there, you can put bathing suits there, and the cool thing is it can all leak down into here and go down the drain. No big deal. Over here we got our cute little sink. It's like the perfect size. It's not too big, not too little. It's just right. It's kind of small, but you know, it works. You're out camping. What do you expect? So black fixtures, we have a mirror. Can I tell you, like, it drives me crazy when I go into a trailer and there's no mirror in the bathroom, I'm not like super vain or anything, but like sometimes you get food in your teeth and you just got to come down and check from the mirror. And some trailers don't even give you mirrors. It drives me crazy. Coming down here, we got a little storage compartment, and it also has a nice rubber gasket that goes around here because obviously you're in the shower space, and that should hopefully protect, you know, some stuff in there so you don't get too much water going through there. Now, something else that makes this trailer very unique is that it's great for children. If you're a couple and you want a lot of storage, you can also use this next space for storage, but it's also a kid's paradise. Let's head over to the bunk beds. So as we shut up this bathroom, oh, I forgot that there's lighting and a vent in there for exhaust to get the moisture out while you're showering. This is not a full tour, so stay tuned for that, and I'll go into more details on everything. I'm just kind of giving you an overview. One of the things that we've seen in the 2026 model year is we have an updated little storage spot for your ladder, which is very cool. This goes around like this, and it locks into this little slot. And then these turn around and they actually lock in. Just keep that in mind. See, that's locked. And then you press the button to disengage it. So we got a nice little ladder for the kids to climb up to the top bunk on, and then a good spot to stow it. Now, this bed right here is not super wide. You can see it's about the entire length of my arm from here to there. So this is definitely a bed for a child or a skinny adult. Turn that camera around. This guy right here, that skinny adult has slept on this bed. How tall are you?
5'9".
5'9", 150. There you go. So he did not exceed the limit of 180 pounds. Now, I will admit, I actually have been on top in this bed, and I definitely exceeded the limit, but no damage was done, thank heaven. But yeah, so there you have it. This is very long because it's the entire length of the trailer. So any adult over 6 feet could easily sleep up here. And then coming down here, for all the dimensions and the details, stay tuned for the full tour. This bed is much larger. As you can see, not just with my fist, but even my fingers, I cannot reach the end of this. So all the way back here, you know, if you were a skinny couple, you could probably put a couple in here. Easily, you could throw 2 little kids in there, or you could put the kid that flails a lot in there to keep everybody safe. Of course, we have lights. We have some plugs down here so those kiddos can have their tablets charged. Come on, you're out camping. Get the kids off the tablets if you can. They can do that at home, but nevertheless, it's there as an option. But the camera guys use it to charge their gear, so that's okay. And then, of course, I love how they have 2 rows, because if you have 2 kids, they don't have to fight over where they put their stuff. You can have top bunk here, you know, and same thing over here. We have all these drawers, and they have a good amount of space. You also have a drawer over here, and I'll open up everything in the full tour so you can see every single detail. Another thing that I appreciate is we have a little window right here, and it also has the screens. All the windows have this, and you also have a window at the foot of the bed, so no kid is gonna ever be feeling claustrophobic in here. It's a very nice space. And then of course, you have all of these that can open up as well. Now, my wife loves this. We only have 1 child, and we generally put her down here, and then we'll use this kind of for some extra storage space, throw her toys up here. She also likes her sleeping down here because it's a little bit warmer. You're not right up against the canvas if it is a cold night. Of course, the heat is going to keep you nice and warm. One of the nice things about the new 2026 models is you do have that ducted heat, and one of your vents is right here, right next to the bunk beds. You have another vent right next to the main bed, and then you have another vent right at the dinette in the kitchen area. So that heat should really distribute nicely in this trailer. But now, let's head on outside. I'm gonna do a quick little walk around and show you all the cool things about this beautiful 2026 MDC 15. Okay, here we are on the outside. Now, if you want way more details, go below and click on the link to the 2024 MDC full tour, because we go into tons of detail. Because as far as like the construction and how these trailers are built, that hasn't changed. MDC has delivered over 40,000 trailers into the Australian outback, and they give you a lifetime warranty on their chassis and frame. They know how to build the trailer. So it's mostly been features and, you know, some of the aesthetics of this that you'll see a big change from 25 to 26. But if you go and watch that full tour, you'll be able to see and understand why MDC is so much better than almost any trailer built in America that you can get. Even the other imports that are coming in, MDC is really ahead above them when it comes to the details and the quality and the QC. So I mentioned these windows, they do have a tint on them and they're flush with the unit. The previous ones didn't have that tint and they were a little beveled. Still the exact same window essentially, and the same company, dual pane, very good, polycarbonate, much stronger than glass. And that's what you want in a trailer that is going to be more rugged. Whether you're going off-roading or not, if your kid throws a baseball at this at the yard, it's not going to shatter that window because this is much stronger than glass. Of course, MDC is really good with lighting. You'll see lighting all throughout. You have a light there, you have a light over here. That's into your kitchen area. You also have another light down here. It's crazy how much light MDC will give you. Now, I'm going to start opening up some of these compartments, and I'm going to just kind of blow through here. I don't want to take too much time. Go and watch that full tour down below, and you'll be able to learn all about these units. Look at this cool little storage box, extra space for maybe food or goods, pots or pans. Of course, you have this little tray that comes up. You have, that's a dry rack, or you could put whatever you want on there. Maybe put a vase with flowers, whatever you want. This comes up here, and you also have some storage right there. These flip out and they become a windshield, and it slides right perfectly into a little slot so it stays in place. This comes all the way around, and we go into tons and tons of detail on all of these kitchens in our full tours. But we got some storage right here. This is all plumbed, so you don't have to hook anything up. You literally just open it, turn on the faucet, and you're done. There are some little details, little changes that they've done. So go and jump over and watch that other tour so you can see more details, and then stay tuned for the full tour. Now, I really like this because this diamond plate backing right here is metal, so you can use this as a cutting board, or you can just use it for storage. This is also a TV mount, so if you want to remove the TV on the inside and bring it out here, you can do that. And of course, check it out, we have outlets. I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of outlets in this trailer. There's another outlet. Oh wait, what's this? That's another outlet. Okay, well, say you have some more stuff you want to set out here and you want to charge, run your TV, whatever it is. The camera guys love this trailer. Every time we go out camping, I think they're like, we're gonna take the 15. And I'm like, why? Because it has so many outlets and they can just charge your stuff. And massive amount of solar, awesome battery systems. This, I didn't actually show it on the inside because I'm kind of trying to get through this quickly, but the inside, this actually slides in and outside. So this is a double access. You can access it from the inside or the outside. So that is really cool. We put the good snacks in there, so at night, if we're hungry, we can grab a snack in bed. And then during the day, of course, we can grab them out here. Also, light in there, which I like that. I love the details. These doors are incredible. Some of the best sealed doors ever. I'll get into more of that detail in the full tour. And then also we have a little switch here. Check that out. We have a light, so I can access this. So if it's at nighttime, washing my dishes, cooking my food, of course I have a light right here. These are the details, right? A lot of trailers you're gonna go and look at, and they might have one light on this whole side, and it's usually by the door. It's a porch light. MDC's given you 3 lights. And not only did they give you a nice LED light, but you can turn that off and you can turn that on, and now you have the yellow light. This is the ember. This is supposed to deter the bugs, mosquitoes. They're not as attracted to this color as they are to this color. Of course, it's a little bit more dim too, so at night, kind of sets the mood. It's more romantic. The ambience is nice. You're out camping. You don't want a bright white light blinding you. Of course, we come over here and a lot of people have been probably wondering, where's the fridge? I didn't see a fridge inside. Now we do have an option for a fridge inside that can be installed. That's an exclusive ROA or RVs of America upgrade. But this is where you would put the fridge if you didn't want to do the inside fridge. And this is actually designed to come out and support up to a 90-liter refrigerator. So this is massive. We have a massive tray right here. Like I said, up to a 90-liter refrigerator. And you have a light in here as well. And then you have two different outlets so you can plug it in with either a 12 volt or an Anderson plug. And then of course we have a light up here to also see inside your refrigerator at night. Now I'm gonna close this up and walk you around towards the front, and then we'll go all the way around to the other side. Right here, we have a aerodynamic storage box. This is a exclusive patent design by MDC, and it has a good amount of storage up here. Of course, you can also put little padlocks on these. They come with these little clips, but you can do a lock so you can store stuff and keep people out of it. Right now in here, we have a jerry can holder. So that's for fuel or extra water if you wanted to, but it is very deep. It's hard to even reach to the bottom. So that's also just held in by a couple bolts. So if you wanted to remove it and just use it as storage, you could do that. This could be a firewood box, lots of different things that you could put in there. I put my camping chairs usually up there. Of course, every MDC and every off-road trailer should always come with an articulating hitch, and this does. It comes with the Cruisemaster DO35, as well as a jockey wheel that we can drop down, lift it off the truck. Little details like right here, we have a handbrake, so when you get to camp, you can pull that and the trailer's not gonna just roll away from you. Of course, we always recommend chalking the wheels still. And then we have a little spigot out here. If your hands get dirty, you can turn that on and wash it. We have propane here, and then we have another storage container exactly the same as that one. So let's head on over here. Here we are now over on the driver's side, and we have another storage compartment. Now, there's a good amount of space in this. There is also another light, but this is your annex canvas room. And so this trailer does come standard with a full annex. And what that is it attaches to the awning and allows you to completely enclose and have a whole nother room that's actually larger than the entire trailer. It's a little bit wider. So you can essentially double your entire living space with this annex. That's included in every MDC. Now, you know, if you don't want to set up the annex, you're going somewhere where you don't see yourself using it that much, you can take it out and use this as an extra storage compartment. This is one of your water fills. This is your cassette toilet. These cassette toilets, when it comes to camping off-grid or off-road or the flexibility, these things can be dumped anywhere, right? You can pull this out and within a second or two, you can take this and go dump it in a pit toilet. You know, if you're at a national park, national forest, they generally have those pit toilets. You just walk in, push the button, it dumps out, you bring it back over here and you slide it back in and you're off to camping. In America, most trailers are gonna have your slinky, your sewer hose. You're gonna have to go into a place where they have a dump station. Generally, you have to pay for the dump station. You have to usually wait in line for the dump station. This just gives you the flexibility to, I've dumped them at porta potties, at construction sites. I've dumped them in pit toilets. This to me is like the most flexible, easiest way to really like dump your sewage and stay off grid and not worry about, oh shoot, our tanks are full. Now we have to drive into town and go dump our sewage. Of course, we have our outlet. MDC has the mud terrain tires, super rugged, robust tires with the alloy rims with 12-inch brake drums. You're running on an independent A-arm suspension with gas and coil shocks. I go into more details on the full tour, so go down to the link, click on the full tour, and you can see last year's model. Like I said, it's still the exact same suspension. Everything is pretty much, as far as construction goes, is identical. There have been some updates, which we'll go over that in the upcoming video. Of course, we have an outside shower, as well as our city and fill porch right here. And this is an update. They've recessed it inside on the 2026. The 2025s, they're actually on the exterior. Nice little detail. Of course, this right here, this track that you can see, this is to insert a shower room so you can actually have an outside shower, and that's what that was, hot and cold water, and you can set it up and be able to shower outside. You don't have to put the shower room, you can just use the outside shower, spray off the kids, the dogs, or if you're at the beach, it's nice weather outside. I wouldn't be showering out here right now. It's snowing. I don't know if you can tell it's snowing. Definitely not time to shower outside. I would shower inside right now, but you know, if it was warm, it's nice because you also don't fill up your gray tank. And then you have a light as well, and it has a clear opening for the shower so you can actually shower at night. Of course, we have the Truma AquaGo, and that's an on-demand water heater. And so what that means is when you turn on the faucet, it senses it and it will send hot water to the spigot shortly after that. And that's a nice feature because it's not a tank. If you have a tank, generally you have to turn it on and you have to wait 30 minutes to an hour for it to heat up. And a lot of tanks are, I mean, some tanks I've seen are 3 gallons, some are 5 or 6 gallons. Generally they're smaller than 6 gallons. So if you don't take a fast shower, you're out of hot water and you're kind of toast, or not toast, you're freezing actually. So it's nice to have that because it's on demand and it's continuous. So you could take an hour-long shower. Of course, you run out of water, but it's a nice feature to have. So there you have it. You can see it has a massive awning that goes from the entire length of the trailer end to end. That comes all the way out. And like I mentioned, you can install the annex on it. This is the all-new 2026 MDC. It's the XT15 OGE, that stands for Off-Grid Extreme. Very similar. There's been some updates in 2026 from 2025, but if you want to see a full tour of the 15 by MDC, go down to the link below, check that out. This is an incredible trailer. I am so honored to be able to work with MDC. They're a phenomenal company. They've been in business for going on 20 years in Australia. They've delivered more off-road trailers than any other brand in Australia. And that's actually a big deal because when you think of Australia, you think of all these iconic brands from Brooders and Patriots, Kimberly campers, Kedrons. I mean, you go out and start researching, they have some of the most well-built off-road trailers in the world. And that's the whole reason why we synced up with Australian companies in the first place, because in the US, there wasn't a lot of options. Now there are more options out now. But as far as who has the most experience, who's delivered the most, MDC is winning that game. They have delivered so many trailers into the Australian market. And if you go jump on their Facebook pages, go check it out, you'll see so many happy owners. Obviously, there's always somebody there to complain, but overall, the owners are thrilled by this product. And you have some people that are on not just their second, third, fourth, but some of them are on their 5th caravan or trailers. Like they've owned them for over a decade and they're always trading into new ones as the new lines come out. So I'm super excited that they're in America. I'm super excited that we get to work with them. And if you want a trailer that, well, as they say, escape with confidence, if you want a trailer that you feel like you can escape with confidence, whether you're going to national parks, going cross country, or hitting a dirt trail and going off grid a little bit, if you want a trailer that you don't feel like it's gonna fall apart and end up in a shop, this is one of the brands that I would choose and would recommend my family and friends to get. Of course, ROA, we carry some really cool products, but MDC truly is a product that you can escape with confidence. So thank you for watching. Go down below. You can also get a spec sheet and also see that other tour. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.